Here is designed by Soundsmith, manufactured by Soundsmith in New York. The only pieces here that are not designed by Soundsmith, the manufacturer, are the turntables and tone arms. The turntables are made by STST. We do bring them into New York and set them up for people. The tone arms are by Frank Schroeder, and Frank's been a close personal friend for more than 20 years. I consider them, frankly, the finest tone arms in the world. So you're listening to a strain gauge cartridge. This is not a magnetic cartridge. It's a semiconductor cartridge. It was originally developed by Sal Win in 1967, originally introduced as the Myconic cartridge, and I know Sal Win. The Myconic was sold, or the patent was sold to Panasonic in the late 60s because the strain gauge had tremendous transient response and bandwidth, and Panasonic or Matsushita recognized that it could be used to play CD4. So CD4 was a huge impact for about 3 years, and Panasonic produced a number of strain gauge cartridges and electronics for the strain gauge cartridge. A number of other companies picked up on these cartridges. The company I worked for, Ram Audio in Danbury, in the early 70s, Jeff Rowland, John Iverson, and a few other high-end companies made electronics for the original Panasonic strain gauges. Strain gauges have been gone since 1973 or 74. I've been personally building them. We introduced the strain gauge, my design, about 15 or 16 years ago. The strain gauge requires a specialized preamp, and we make a whole series of preamps for the strain gauge, starting with our Model 200, the 210, a full function preamp with a strain gauge function called the 230, has 4-line inputs. We also make a signature series, which is our very high-end strain gauge series. They have multiple inputs. This one has a single line input plus strain gauge function. It also has display features that shows tracking force. There's a V display which shows force per groove wall of the stylus in the groove real time and record warp. The amplifiers are also my design. They're 200 watt per channel MOSFET amplifiers. My electronics have split phase output, so it allows bridging of amplifiers. So we're bridging the two stereo amps on these two. We're getting about 435 watts per channel. Speakers are my design. I was formerly director of engineering at Bozak, a very old iconic loudspeaker company in the United States founded by Rudy Bozak, who's considered one of the icons of the audio industry. I got to work with Rudy for a number of years while I was director of engineering. We also make a whole line of moving iron cartridges. This is our Hyperion, our top of the line moving iron. This uses an organic cantilever, a cactus cantilever, to hold the diamond. It solved a huge number of cantilever problems. And this is one of the things I like to do, is to look at designs in audio that have been made to work but not perfected. And so I like to look at those types of things and advance them where necessary and when I can. So that's basically the whole system as described. I appreciate you enjoying it so much.
Thank you very much.